Hello, I am here to talk about the elevated risk of injury on artificial turf fields when compared to playing on natural grass fields, specifically for players in the NFL. Superstars in the NFL are getting their seasons and careers cut short because they are playing on turf fields, which could easily be prevented. Studies and data prove that playing on turf fields greatly increases the chance of injury compared to playing on natural grass fields. And some of my favorite players in the NFL have long been arguing against playing on turf fields. So I decided to do my own research into why they were saying those things, into what the actual data said about the increase in risk of injury when playing on turf fields compared to grass fields. I will talk about why players argue against playing on grass fields, and then I will dive into the data claiming that there is a greater chance of injury when playing on turf fields, and then I'll go specifically into the data claiming that non-contact injuries occur much more often when playing on turf fields compared to grass fields. My first point is that NFL players have long stated that they would much rather play on grass fields compared to turf. Whenever an injury occurs to an NFL player, usually everybody rallies around that player, stating that turf was the cause of that injury because it's usually a non-contact injury. The NFL Players Association has always tried to get every single stadium to have natural grass, but the owners usually claim there's reasons why they have to have turf in their stadium, which is crazy. The NFL Players Association also released a poll stating that 72% of NFL players would rather play on grass than turf, and they also released a poll that said 62% of players thought that playing on turf fields would negatively impact their health and their future careers in the NFL. The studies prove that playing on grass is much safer. An American Journal of Sports Medicine article stated that there is a 16% increase in lower body injuries when playing on turf field in general compared to playing on grass fields. When it comes to a billion-dollar industry like the NFL, I think that every measure should be taken to prevent injuries and to prolong the careers of these NFL players and athletes. A Keystone article also stated that the reason that turf fields are still in the NFL is because owners don't want to take the time, money, and maintenance required to keep up grass fields. But in my opinion, all of these investments should be made to protect the health of the players and to keep the superstars on the field for as long as possible and to prolong their careers. When it comes to NFL player injuries, non-contact injuries are always the worst and scariest type of injuries. When it comes to a non-contact injury, it's usually a tear or a soft tissue injury that more times than not needs surgery and a lot of rehab, and usually takes a much longer time to recover from. And these non-contact injuries are happening at an extreme rate on turf fields compared to natural grass fields. The NFL Players Association released a research that claimed 28% higher chance of injury occurred on turf fields when it comes to non-contact injuries. And that same research claimed that there was a 32% higher rate of non-contact knee injuries on turf fields compared to grass fields. And it also states that there's a 69% higher rate of non-contact foot and ankle injuries on turf fields compared to natural grass fields, which is unbelievable because if there's an increase that much in turf fields compared to natural grass fields, then turf fields shouldn't be a thing anymore. I've always claimed that turf fields should be gone from the NFL forever because NFL players don't want to play on turf fields. Number one, they increase chance of injuries, period, and then non-contact injuries, which are usually the worst type of injuries, more times than not occur on turf fields compared to natural grass. If NFL owners would switch every stadium to natural grass, we would see a much lower rate of non-contact injuries and injuries in general. And NFL players shouldn't have to play on fields that risk their career, their money, and essentially their lives, because if they weren't NFL players, they wouldn't have a livelihood. All right, thank you.